Well, my name is Mark Schut. I'm a social scientist working with Wageningen University and IITA, which is the International Institute of Tropical Agriculture. And what today's event means to me is that it's the end of a very long journey. We started this process in November last year, in November 2014, with the innovation platform competition announcement. And we got a lot of interesting stories from all over the world on what innovation platforms can actually achieve. And it was a very difficult task because I was one of the editors. I was one of the competition leaders. It was such a difficult task for us to bring down the 30 applications that we got to the 8 case studies that eventually made it to the book. So for me today was really celebrating the hard work we put into this. Also, we heard some very inspiring stories from the case study winners that I think can inspire other people who are working very hard at the local level with farmers, at the national level with policymakers. So really for me today was a celebration of all the hard work and efforts that myself and other people have put into this book and to the competition.
My name is Kwesi Atakra, and I am the director for the program called Humid Tropics, which is a CGIAR program on integrated systems for the humid tropics region. Basically, this is a program that is aimed at enhancing livelihood standards and creating livelihood opportunities for smallholder farmers, taking into account the resources within their systems, so the domain. And so we've been working with various partners in these sort of programs. The event that we have been having here today is really looking at the innovation systems dimension of this. And this is where we create a platform to bring together all the key stakeholder groups. And through that process, it leads to improved benefits for the people who are on the platform, including all the different stakeholders. So what I have particularly enjoyed from our meeting today is that it has demonstrated clearly that innovation platforms work. And we have seen examples of how innovation platforms have resulted in improved income opportunities for smallholder farmers, where they actually target particular deliverables. Sometimes they look at soybean, maize integration in such a way that they can produce feed. They have some of them looking at piggery within a particular production system. So there are various options, but it's very clear that there always, within a platform, there has to be a benefit sharing opportunity for the people who are on there. So the smallholders must benefit. If they don't benefit, it doesn't put money into their pocket. You know, if it's just about meeting and sharing ideas, it doesn't go far. But when they themselves realize that this is an opportunity to link them to the private sector, to link them to the research, to link them to policymakers in such a way that they can enhance their livelihood standards, then sustainability really comes in.
Okay, my name is Dr. Beatrice Akelo Omonuk. I'm the director of the Mukono Zonal Agriculture Research and Development Institute, which is one of the institutes under the National Agriculture Research Organization. Well, today's event meant so much for me. One, it did recognize innovation platforms and people that are involved in it in various ways. For me, innovation platforms are about bringing people together from different areas of, say, research and development, and bringing them together with everyone else who is involved in commodity chains. For example, in this meeting today, we had researchers, we had people from the universities, we had farmers who are the actual, innovators, and for whom we do whatever we are doing for in research. For me, I'm a researcher. So for me, this event is very significant. One, there was a product that came out of different people working together. There was a book. It's a book launch. And in this book, there are cases or lessons that we learn about innovations. And these innovations are things that can be also applied everywhere in the world. We've heard stories, from people working in a community in Kabale in Uganda, where people are doing things every day but they cannot make a breakthrough. But it took several people to work together. Researchers working with the farmers, we had extension, we had the universities working together and making sure that these farmers, what they're doing every day, the sorghum they produce gets to the market. We also had a case from India where we had people producing milk, but then due to beliefs of some of the people that, milk should not be sold, it should be given to the gods. And people working together with the communities to convince them, to sensitize them about how important milk is, even for the poorer people. So changing those mindsets could not be done by one person, but a number of stakeholders. And that's what the innovation platform is about, bringing different people together, talking, innovating, and making sure that the smallholder farmers get the benefit out of what they are doing. So for me, hearing all those stories means so much. As a researcher, I'm encouraged. For example, one of the things that frustrates we research scientists is that we do work a lot in our labs, in the offices, developing agricultural technologies, and they do not go out to the end users who are the farmers. Why? Because we do not understand that, research is just part of, a bigger system. We need extension workers to take that research out, the research results, say a good technology. Not only that, we also need the actual technology users to be part of the innovation, to give ideas as to how the research agenda should be driven. We also need people from the universities who are training students to be part of it. So working with innovation platforms actually means that for me as a researcher, I need to work with other people, and then these technologies can actually, go to the end users. I can only do my part, but there are so many people in the system that come together to make sure that research work, that research translates into development in terms of food security, in terms of income for the people, in terms of seeing that the welfare of the people is generally improved. Yeah.
My name is Rebecca Kalibwani. I'm a lecturer at Bishop Stewart University in Mbarara. For me, as I said in my testimony, I do not come from that part of the country, but I'm excited and proud to be able to associate with the people of Kabale in this wonderful story that has created this IP up to where they are now. So I'm proud to associate with the people of Kabale in this winning story.
There was a book which was launched today. How is it going to be relevant in your work?
That book shares experiences of innovation platforms, Kabale first, but also innovation platforms around the world in other parts of Africa and India. And so we're going to use the experiences from there to improve the innovation platforms where we're working as partners.
Okay. Any other remarks?
I'm proud to be the winner today, and also I would like to encourage especially the farmers that this is a new way of doing development. They should be encouraged to participate in innovation platforms when they are established in their areas, because where we have established them, we've seen farmers benefiting in terms of income, in terms of their social lives. They are happy with what is happening on innovation platforms, and our intention is to create more of them. So when they go to when innovation platforms go to the different areas, I would encourage farmers to be part of what is happening.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Amal Ravichandran. I'm from India. Basically, I'm from South India, Tamil Nadu. But this case study is from Northern India, that also in the foothills of Himalayas, where the farmers don't have the accessibility to the market. That's the case study explains. This event is great, and it is not only honoring me as the case study, it is the people who worked into the innovation platforms to get the impact at the scale for the livelihood of the small dairy farmers in this hilly region.
Okay, and there was a book which was launched. How will it impact in your life and many other people out there?
Actually, the basic idea of publications is what we did in some small packet area, how it can reach from the smaller area to the regional, state level, and to the global level. So the book is great that from reading these books, not only the development actors, students who can learn what's the innovation platform, and some policy makers who can learn what the policies which will impact reality of the issues which are faced by the farmers, especially the women. Because voices of the women is not being heard many years, but this platform is main tool in India as an example how the women's problem being addressed through this platform. So I hope this book will help to the wider area how the learnings can be reached to the many farmers through these partners like researchers, students, how it can help to the farmers at a wider level.
My name is Wale Fatumbi. I am the acting divisional manager for visioning and strategic analysis at the Forum for Agricultural Research in Africa, the continental body that is overseeing agricultural research and development, and the technical arm of the African Union Commission for Agricultural Research in Africa. As it relates to today's event, we have gathered here to do something I consider very important. Number one, to launch a book that documented case studies from matured innovation platforms in Africa. Well, the innovation platform issue started more than 12 years ago, and we have learned a lot of lessons all along the line. Many research organizations and institutes also are setting up innovation platforms. But it is important for stakeholders to know how to do it so that at the end of the day, they will do the right thing and we will achieve impact that is much desired from agricultural research and development activities in Africa. And so in the last 1 year, we have collated case studies of different innovation platforms on the continent, and we have been able to come up with cases that are outstanding, that actually showed the knowledge, how to set up innovation platform, how to operationalize it, and how to do it to get results. We also have cases that clearly showed us how not to do an innovation platform if we want success at the end of the day. And today we have come to launch an important book. This book is going to continue to inform stakeholders on how to use the innovation systems approach to orchestrate development in Africa.
Any other remarks?
Yes. What I want to send out to Africa agricultural research stakeholders is that it is time to delve away from talks. It is time to do. It is time to take action. One of the comments I have heard that is devastating about Africans is that Africans want development in their mind, but they are not ready to do things that leads to development. I want to encourage Africans, especially Africans in agriculture, starting from the policymakers, down to the researchers, down to the extension agent, the private sector in agriculture, and to the farmers themselves, that let's stop talking, let's start doing, let's take action that leads to the development of our land. Thank you.
My name is Michael Misiko. I work with CIMIT. CIMIT is the International Maize and Wheat Improvement Center. I'm based in Nairobi, and my title is Innovation Scientist. Today's event has a lot of meanings. I'll just mention the most important ones. Number one, As you know, this is documenting mature innovation platforms. How to really move from just doing science, or just talking the theory, into doing real practical agricultural change. Okay? And this is important because you get all the different institutions out there to collaborate and to be able to create the change that we always talk about in science and in research. And this is very, very important also because then it puts the farmer at the center of the action. It is important because then with all these little pieces put together, you get to sustain whatever that is being innovated, whatever that is being done within the research. So it's a special day in the sense that we put together very important evidence that helps everyone out there to be able to move the process forward where we are not. So that piece of book can be used to explain to other people how this can be done and how then we move forward with this agricultural research that we are doing. It is just my final remarks is to say it is very important to do all this work, as has been said. But we need to get the champions. We are very few here. Okay, the people who have been doing this work are very few. If we do not get the champions out, including you people in the media, people in government, everyone who talks about this, to be able to take this work to the next stage. Because research and all these people who sit in this hotel are not going to go in the villages, in those new sites, to be able to take it to the next level and to spread the word, to spread the work. So the champions are you people in media, government, development institutions, each and everyone who has a stake. Very, very critical in pulling all the efforts and resources together.
My name is Moses Tenyo. I'm a professor at Mackay University in the College of Agriculture and Environmental Sciences, but I'm also the action site facilitator for the Humid Topics Innovation Platforms in Uganda. And today was a day of launching the book on the case studies of successful, mature innovation multi-stakeholder platforms. Multi-stakeholder innovation platforms are the tool that we see that brings together the different actors in research and development for agriculture. And that transformative tool is very useful in that it brings together the different actors to ensure that the farmers can actually increase their production efficiently. They can increase their food security, nutrition security, as well as natural resource integrity. So the launch today was a mark that there is evidence that the innovation platforms can actually be used to transform the farming systems of smallholder farmers in Africa. The book is evidence that can be used by the government, it can be used by the extension workers, it can be used by us, the professors in the university, it can be used by those who are facilitating rural innovations. It can be used even by farmers who can read for themselves. So even they can use their own children. They can read the book and interpret, because it is a simple book that documents what can work to transform the smallholder farming systems, to make them profitable, to make them more productive, to bring money in the pockets of the farmers, to be able to enable them to have at least some school fees from agriculture. Because in the past, agriculture was looked at as a poverty process, poverty activity, poverty job. Many of us, the children of peasants, when you would finish a degree in agriculture, you would think now I've escaped from the poverty of the farmers. But now that can turn, that attitude, especially for the youth. You know, we have the youth constitute over 71% of the population. And so if they can use the innovation platforms, they realize they can actually make money in agriculture. So this is evidence that you can make money from agriculture, that you can move from poverty to richness. You can move from low subsistence system to empowerment of high intensified systems.
My name is Ido Dror. I'm the head of capacity development at the International Livestock Research Institute, ILRI for short. And I am one of the editors of the book Innovation Platforms for Agricultural Development that was launched here in Kampala today.
So how is it going to translate to the lives and the societies down there?
You know, it's been quite a journey for us over the past 12 months. We started this with an idea. What if we crowdsourced an idea? What if we got people from all corners of the world to share their experience on innovation platforms? And not just any innovation platforms, but mature ones. Ones that truly work on multi-crop, livestock, tree interactions, or ones that have been really taking up to scale, and so on, which we found to be a little bit missing in the literature. We didn't know what kind of responses we would get, so we were very pleased to have such a strong reply. Then going through the entire process, from the initial shortlisting to getting people together, putting a write shop in Nairobi to help refine that, while at the same time developing their capacity and that of their colleagues to write better case studies and to make their experience come out in a way that's more accessible, was a lot of hard work, but also very rewarding when you see a year later us celebrating here a book launch and the award ceremony, and already starting to see some of these products get translated into actions on the ground and people using them, and the materials being converted into other sets of training and extension materials. So it's a very satisfying feeling to see it all taking shape like that.
Now, going forward, what next, and how is it? Want to know how the people are set to benefit from this.
Well, ultimately, when you conduct research and when you publish work, all you can hope for is that you would have done a good enough job at enticing others to use those materials, to really apply that, and to work with them in order to facilitate their access. From our side, we are committed to using these materials in a range of ways, including what we're already doing, which is using these materials as part of a blended learning on innovation platforms, which will be available both as an online, as a face-to-face component, and making that accessible to people from, both here in Uganda and across the African continent, as well as in Asia, particularly Southeast Asia and the Mekong, and Central America and the Caribbean. So these are some actions that are already taking place, but we're definitely hoping to have other opportunities to take that even further, to produce detailed teaching notes and lesson plans and maybe even video tutorials in terms of how to use these materials so that they can really be used locally by local facilitators and be accessible to all.
I understand you're a person who is more placed to answer this question. What was the motive? I want you to give me the motive, the backdrop to these awards and the innovations. What triggered you to have?
Well, there's a lot of talk of innovation platforms. There isn't a lot of talk of the maturity of these platforms and how they can be used or not to scale, to take really innovations all the way up to the impact phase. And so we have a lot of gaps in our knowledge base. And so this competition and the book that ensued is really coming from that place, is trying to see how we can, plug those gaps, how we can make this knowledge, first of all, how we can unearth this knowledge, and then how we can make it accessible to all.
My name is Perez Muchunguzi. I work with the International Institute of Tropical Agriculture as a multi-stakeholder specialist. Today's event was very, very important in my life because it was testimony that research coupled with stakeholder engagement can be appreciated not only in terms of publishing, but also in terms of bringing about change. So today's event was very important in a way that we appreciate a number of people, because it's not me. Today we are seeing me, but it's stakeholders that are not here, that are embedded in the communities. It is stakeholders in government, it is stakeholders in research, it's stakeholders in extension. So today's event is testimony to the fact that having those stakeholders working together is important and is increasingly being appreciated.
Okay, how will the book launch today be relevant in your work?
The book launch today was specifically useful because we talk about scale. We talk about whatever good we are doing. As a knowledge partner, it is important that whatever we are doing, we get to share it with people outside. And there is no better way of really having this shared than having a book which is written and can be shared, can be referenced, can be used by different stakeholders out there that want to do something similar, but of course fitting in their own context. In terms of remarks, I want to basically give an encouragement to people who want to do this. There are challenges that you will meet on the way, but it is worth it, because at the end of the day, for us to be able to move the African farmer from poverty and malnutrition, we need to work with the different stakeholders. There is no single organization that will be able to do it. So working in an innovation platform is an innovative way of realizing this change.
This is not an initiative that is led by the CGR and we are doing it. Actually, in fact, we have Humatropics. It's all the partners coming together. And within Uganda, it is Uganda also who leads it. So it's Makerere University who leads it. So IITA, is even hosted by the Ugandan government. And so we are here, our host basically is Uganda. And our key host for the Humatropics, where this book is from, is also Professor Tenua. Okay. So rather than me making the opening remarks, I would like to acknowledge, how we are embedded in this system, what our role is. And I think he's much better placed than me to make the opening remarks.
The book launch of today will be relevant for my work because I think the book that we have, we can use to show other people that if you invest your time and resources on these innovation platforms, if you get it right, then they can have a big impact. So I think, as also Director of Humatropics, Kwesi Atakra mentioned, this is really a timely product because sometimes people are questioning these approaches, bringing different people together, spending a lot of time getting the agenda right, making it work. But I think these 8 case studies really show that if you get it right, you can have a big impact.
Whatever we do must be meaningful to the smallholder farmer. The smallholder farmer must know that whatever engagement they have, it ends up in improving their livelihood standards. And finally, I would say that we also have to find a way of dealing with scaling so that we're not just dealing with small pockets of people, but we are thinking about how can this reach the larger population of people within our domain. And to do that, we must find mechanisms to strengthen the involvement of government, link into government development programs, link into donor investment plans, etc., so that this process can go on at a much bigger scale. The book is going to show various platforms and various development partners, as well as even various community groups that are alerted to the importance of innovation platforms. It will give them some specific examples of how platforms actually function. And it will also show them particular cases of success that has been achieved by other platforms. And one particular one which was done also in Uganda is that the platform activity now led to the creation of a cooperative and registering this cooperative with government, because the members of that platform really felt that this is something that will enhance their livelihood standards. So for me, as the director for the program, I'm obviously delighted, to see this outcome. And I will be using that book whenever I go to any group. At least they ask questions, say, the answers are in this book. This is a good example for you to take and build upon, in learning about what innovation platforms can do.